I am gonna tell you a story about the witch's clit. I was a stupid kid, probably about 19. I was on the run from the law, and I wanted to stay low for a while. My name is Jimmy Robo. I took the bus. I left my small town because I wanted to get away and be on my own and be underneath the radar. I took the bus to Albany, and then I took the bus to New York City. I got off. I'm not going to give specific locations. I'm not going to give names. I got off the bus at Penn Station in New York City, and I kept walking for a while, and I sat down at this random McDonald's. I sat down at this random McDonald's, and all of a sudden somebody gives me $1. And I'm like, okay, I'll do this for a while. So I just held up signs, and every day I just make some money, and I would just use it to eat every now and then. Let's skipping a little further ahead, about 3 weeks of doing that. Then one day, this tiny, frail, elderly looking woman walks up to me, and she goes, "Hey, I'll massage you if you massage me." I look her up and down, and strangely, I felt embraced by her. I felt attracted to her. She was probably like 90 pounds, soaking wet. She had a black skirt, black back, black boots. She wore a leather jacket and lipstick, and her hair was dyed black. She looked like she was in her early 50s. And I look her up and down, and I find her oddly attractive, so I'm like, sure. She takes me up the block, and we duck down underneath this corner, and she goes, I'm like, where do you want me to massage you? She goes, here. She points down at her vagina, and she puts my fingers there, and I just started doing it naturally, and I felt like I was in a trance. I just kept moving my fingers in circles and vibrating them. I couldn't stop. I was moving my fingers in circles and vibrating them and just shaking them like nonstop. But it was like I couldn't stop doing it. And she's like, "Yes, play with my clit, David. Play with my beautiful clit. You will infinitely play with my little clit. Now infinitely fall asleep while you play with my clit." And I passed out. And I woke up. She was standing over me. And she goes, "I'll see you tomorrow." And I'm like, okay. And it was fun for a while. We were like a dynamic duo. But she was driving me crazy, man. She was absolutely batshit crazy, man. She was always throwing her stuff all over the place. She would go randomly walking around organizing the garbage. She'd randomly take off her clothes and wash down in puddles and put her skirt back on. She would lift up her skirt to pee, and she always got me in trouble all the time because she was always hanging her clothes up to dry in random places. People would always yell at me and tell me to leave, and she would just swear at them, tell them to go kill themselves. Yeah, and she would always get me in trouble, but they never yelled at her. They always yelled at me because she was a little tiny elderly woman, and they found me responsible for what she did for some reason. I remember one day she was going through McDonald's organizing everybody's drinks, and she walks up to this 5-year-old girl and starts brushing her hair. She literally just walks up to this girl and starts brushing her hair. And the father glares at me, and she says, "Yes, you have long, beautiful hair. Beautiful blonde hair. Oh, I wish my hair looked like this." And it was like a 5-year-old girl, and she was brushing her hair, and the father looks over and glares at me. And later on that day, he approaches me, and this freaking girl was over in the puddle on the corner, naked, washing off in a puddle. The old man that the daughter she was brushing her hair earlier walks up to me. The father walks up to me that was glaring at me, and he goes, "Hey, if that old hag touches my daughter, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You hear me? I'm gonna beat the living crap out of you. I'm gonna come back with a bat and splatter your brains all over the sidewalk. Don't let that hag touch my daughter again, because I'm going to take it out on you, not on her." I'm like, yes, okay, I'll talk to her. Just, okay, calm down. I don't want any problems. He goes, "Better not be." And he walks away. And I'm like, "Sarah, you can't do that. You just got me in trouble." She's like, "Shut up. Shut up, or I'll cut your pecker off and eat it. I'm just kidding, David. How about we go to the park? You can play with my clit. It just always drives me crazy, man. She always wanted me to play with her clit all the time. She never wanted to have sex. She just wanted me to play with her clit all day, every day. And she would always get mad when I stopped. And she's like, why'd you stop? Play with my clit. And I remember she was always brushing my hair and spraying this stuff all over me. And every time she combed my hair, it felt like my hair would start thickening. I got long blonde hair that's thinning a bit. And ever since she started brushing it, I noticed that every time she brushed it, my hair would thicken. But when I stopped brushing it, it would thinning. So now somehow she had it, so I have to constantly brush my hair to have thick hair, because every time I stop combing it, it thinnens on me. And yes, it drives me crazy because I gotta constantly comb my hair. It thinnens all the time. She said a curse on me, man, I swear. But she was like combing my hair, and she was like, yes, David, I could picture us at the perfect wedding. We could be Adam and Eve all over again. I could just gobble you up into my clit. How about we go to the park, David? You could play with my clit. Don't get me wrong, I like pussy as much as the next guy, but she was really starting to weird me out, man. And she was starting to scare me a little bit. I'm like, maybe later. I don't want to right now. And she freaking punches me in the face, man. She literally just socks me one right in the jaw, and then she picks up my coffee and throws it in my face. And I'm like, calm down, please. Please calm down. She goes, shut the fuck up. If you don't come to the park and play with my beautiful clit right now, I'm gonna call the cops and I'm gonna tell them you raped me. Now come to the park and play with my clit, motherfucker. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. I'm a very sick bitch. And she started doing that crazy laugh she always did, man. She started doing that crazy laugh. Now come here, David. I'm gonna gobble you up into my beautiful pussy. And she started turning into this freaking morphed creature, man. And then she started doing this crazy laugh. This crazy laugh that she always did. It still echoes through my mind. And she was saying, now get up and come to the park and play on my clit. And she started doing that crazy laugh again. She started morphing into this hideous creature, man. And I got up and I started running, and she was shoving this cart up the block, chasing me. And she would always freaking shove the cart into me, man. She'd always just ram the cart into me all the time, man. She used to always make me mad. She was chasing me up the block saying, play on my clit, David. Play on my beautiful clit right now. I am going to gobble you up, Infinite. I am going to gobble you up into my beautiful pussy, David. I love you, Infinite. And she was chasing me up the block, and she was this morphed creature, and she had this cart, and she was like pulling this stuff out of her cart and throwing it at me. It was that cream she always rubbed all over me, man. She was throwing that cream at me, and it was pelting me everywhere, and when it hit me and turned into smoke, it was like smoke cream bombs. It was literally like smoke cream bombs. They're like turning into smoke everywhere when they hit me, and I was like running for my life, and she was laughing, saying, play with my clit, David, play with my beautiful clit forever. And I was running away from her. I ran for the longest time, for I don't know how long, man. I just kept running and running. I looked behind me, and she was gone. And like I said, I was tired. I was really tired from living on the streets, to be honest. So I freaking sat down, and I started catching my breath. And then I passed out on the ground. And I woke up, and she was standing over me. And she's like, it's okay, David. Just calm down. And she like started rubbing this cream on me before I could even say anything. She started rubbing this cream all over my arm, and she rubbed her 2 fingers down my face. And I felt like I was paralyzed. I felt like I was in a trance. And she goes, I am the evil sin leech succubus, David. Satan has sent me for you because of the covenant you made with him. You see, Satan is my bitch. I am Satan's wife. I am a sin leech succubus. I just took on the form of Sarah Good from Salem Witch Trials to imprison you, David. You now belong to me. You see, When the devil came to Salem village to carnage and pillage, the evil bitch witch was pissed. She cursed those souls from Salem village. And when Satan took them souls from Salem village, they all turned into sin leeches, and they started gobbling up all the sin, and they came so powerful that they all turned into black holes, and Satan constantly tries to fill them with all the sin he tempts. And no matter how big Satan's dick gets, he can never fill my beautiful pussy. And now you belong to me, David. Now, David, play with my clit. And I looked down, and I was playing with her clit, man. I was playing with her clit when I looked down, and I was moving my fingers in circles, and I couldn't stop doing it. I was moving my fingers in circles and vibrating them and shaking them. I couldn't stop. I was paralyzed in a trance. She's like, "Yes, David, play with my beautiful clit." And I looked down at my arm, and she was still rubbing this cream on me. And I was like melting, man. I was melting. My skin was melting as she rubbed the cream on me. And she was picking off my skin, and she was eating me. She was eating pieces of me while she rubbed the cream on me. "Yes, David, I taste your sin." "I love the taste of your sin, David. Now you will infinitely commit sin and feed me infinite, just like all the demons do. You see, I am above Satan. Satan plays with my clit and feeds me infinite. Now here's what's gonna happen, David. I am going to gobble you up into my pussy over and over again for eternity while you play with my beautiful clit and feed me, David." Because I am the pissed off bitch witch from Salem village, and your soul now belongs to me. Now, David, look down. This is how you were born, David. And I looked down and my pants were off, and she was sucking on my genitalia, and the size, she was sucking the size out of it, man. She was literally sucking the size out of it. It was shrinking while she was sucking on it, and it shriveled up. It's like she sucked the whole thing off of me. It's like she just sucked it clean off of me. And actually, you know, I was in the park. I was in the riverfront park, man, and I looked down. My dick was gone. My freaking dick was gone, man. My freaking dick was gone. She sucked my dick off, and it was a flat space there. And I was walking through the park, and all these women were pointing and laughing at me, and they're laughing at me, giggling, "Where's your penis?" And then all of a sudden, it started raining. It started raining penises out of the sky. And all the women started running after them, and they started eating the penises, man. And I started running for my life. And all of a sudden, I was omnipresent. It was like all the women that were eating the penises turned into me. We were all naked with no penis. We were running. And I looked up, and there was this black hole over us, man. And it was sucking everything up into it. All the me's were getting sucked up into it, man. And I heard her laughing that crazy laugh. "I am going to gobble you up into my beautiful pussy. Gobble you all up into my beautiful pussy." And then all the me's that were running, we were all running naked. And then all the me's turned into planets. I was in outer space, man. And all the me's were planets. And all the planets started getting sucked up into the black hole. And I saw this light at the end of the tunnel. I just started running right towards it. I made it to the light, and the light was the sun. And it got sucked up into the hole. And I was in complete darkness. That was tasty. I was in complete darkness, and I saw these glowing red eyes. That was so yummy, David. You see, now that you belong to me, your whole world is sin now. And I am going to gobble you up into my pussy and gobble everything up around you into my beautiful pussy while you play with my beautiful clit, David. I love the taste of your sin, David.